For many of us, music serves as a very integral part of our life, always playing in the background of whatever task people are doing. It allows people to bond, connect, and share, all while having this music right at the tips of our fingers, allowing us play it anywhere at any time. With the current streaming world going through numerous changes given the immense growth of artists on various platforms, it's important to go back and look at the inception and impact of one of the biggest music platforms, Spotify, to get a better understanding. In 2008, Swedish CEO Daniel Ek released Spotify to the public, where we're going to provide a safer alternative to piracy, create competition with radio stations, and revolutionize how we listen to music. Spotify was created to create a safe alternative to piracy. Piracy, as stated by Webster's Dictionary, is defined as the unauthorized use of another's production, invention, or conception, especially an infringement of a copyright. Piracy can heighten the listening experience by allowing those to access music across any medium, and for some upcoming artists, having their music pirated shows that people love listening to their music. Popular software like the LimeWire and Pirate Bay were early pioneers in peer-to-peer sharing software for music and other media. In an article by Giorgio Luceri, the Pirate Bay allows visitors to search, download, and contribute magnet links and torrent files that facilitate peer-to-peer file sharing between users. As we know, the U.S. Copyright Act protects all works of authorship across all mediums. As stated in the European Journal of Law and Economics, bootleggers are subject to a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. As for Spotify offering a safer alternative, Spotify has made streaming music easy to the point that it makes piracy futile. As excerpted from the Music Week, Spotify has everything from new song releases to old songs. It filled the vacuum. There was no longer a need for unverified sources of music. In that same article, an anonymous user on a survey even proclaims that it is now easier to stream music than to pirate it, and the cost is not prohibitive. Now that you understand piracy and how it relates to music, you can understand how Spotify challenged radio stations. It is important to note how Spotify brought competition to radio stations. The general premise of a radio station is that typically a music director will be in charge of what music is played at the station based on the available music they have from given various labels. In the Columbia Journal, it is noted that historically, collective copyright management has been valuable for both copyright and users of copyrighted works. Essentially, historically, if you wanted to listen to music, it more than likely came from radio. In that same journal, if one entity holds the rights to the license the majority of popular songs, it can extract monopoly rents from anyone seeking to use the music. Where Spotify comes into play is that now Spotify and streaming services alike are so popular now that Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music alike together control 2/3 of the global streaming market. Now that you understand how Spotify stepped to radio stations, it is important to know about its impact. As for now, Spotify Works allows you to access millions of Spotify songs, all without the risk of copyright infringement. Imagine Spotify like a digital menu, all the music types old and new at the tips of your fingers. As you can see here, this is the current view of how Spotify works on mobile devices. After logging in, you are now available to look at any song you want. In this case, is Girl in Red, all their songs, old, new, without the risk of copyright infringement. According to Financieras, as of 2023, Spotify has stated that they have now hit over 500 million monthly active users, also seen on this graph to my left. Even past music, Spotify in the last few years has expanded in forms of offering podcasts, and for a fraction of certain publishers, even audiobooks. To keep the app fresh, Spotify releases something called Spotify Wrapped yearly, which gives users insight into their listening habits over the year through statistics and even a playlist summing up all of the listeners' most listened to songs. And we have an example right here of Spotify Wrapped. Here we can see the users' most listened to hours, listened to songs, and the most listened to albums, as well as also the top 5 most listened to artists with their genres as well. In 2008, Swedish CEO Daniel Ek would release the music app Spotify. It would go on to provide a safer alternative to piracy, create competition with radio stations, and revolutionize how we listen to music. Understanding Spotify's music impact and how it came to be allows us to get a better understanding of the current streaming world and a lot the complexities of it. Hopefully with this new addition in knowledge, the next time you open up Spotify, you will open it with a much greater appreciation. Thank you so much.